Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO City Underground. So I've changed the video options to turn down the textures, which are actually under video settings, to low. So what we're doing here is an experiment. While it may look a little bit different, maybe a little bit brighter, it honestly might not be a bad change here. If we don't see any micro stuttering in this next hour of gameplay, I'm gonna turn up some of the effects, turn the level shadow quality up to maximum, and bloom and things like that up to the maximum. We also found out in the last recording that if you jump in a taxi, you'll be in the back of the taxi, it seems, and you'll just get driven to your location. If I let go of A here, the car clearly comes to a stopping point. We also rushed through a couple of levels, and we may rush through a couple more. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next recording we are... Interesting that it stops me from going any further, so it wants me to walk there. We could... Let's see. I want to be in camera mode, I guess. Take a moment to see if we could look upward. This is taking me to some kind of construction place that is right behind Honey's hotel, Honey's parents' hotel. And interesting that the glowing light sphere isn't there. This feels like this might be the beginning of the end, and that this unlocks a series of levels. We'll see what happens. The story's really gone nowhere. Like, it's called Special Assignment 12. We see that there's 15 levels, so there should be 3 more. And I don't think that any of those should be a boss level. Because I think you get a gold brick to unlock to finish a level, and you would need all the gold bricks to unlock a bonus level.
My doctor told me I was colorblind this morning.
Are you stupid? Somebody get him to the chopper. I mean hospital. Now who's going to cover his shift?
So we have an Arnold Schwarzenegger reference.
No way.
How about me?
You are plumbing a water main, not saving the world, Dummkopf. Fine. You need a uniform. You give him your clothes, your helmet, and your hammer.
Again, making
it's okay.
Terminator references. So the final hero class is going to be a
you'll need to move
construction
Push
guy.
it over by that cone and stuff.
Now, here's an interesting question.
Is in this place.
So we're going to unlock this final hero ability.
My back is hurting from carrying around bricks all day.
Have you been lifting from the knees?
No, from the construction site.
In Arnold Schwarzenegger is an Austrian with a heavy Austrian accent, I believe. I don't think he's just an Austrian who also had a weird sounding voice. So
Don't worry about smashing the crate. It's expendable.
This really is just referencing every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I wouldn't be surprised if this actually is Arnold Schwarzenegger who voiced this. So I guess you're not doing something that's a stereotypical, we're making fun of Austrians. If you were going to make fun of Austrians, you would probably mention that, like, Hitler was Austrian, I believe. Or something along that lines. Yeah, they are just kind of doing a
Hurry,
reference
get
to
the door. Don't you have a crowbar?
they're just making
I can't
Arnold
wait to have a
Schwarzenegger
cup of
references. But again, most Arnold Schwarzenegger movies are not kid friendly for a LEGO game. Like, this really is a great example of how kid-friendly all the other LEGO games have had to been. That they can make maybe a sly reference to a movie like Star Wars, which, in all honesty, Episode 4 probably isn't.
Collateral damage.
They're mentioning some really side movies too. Not even his.
With your hammer.
See, my thought is, this is just backwards. They should have had us play as a construction person, I think, at the beginning of the game, and maybe not be a police officer so much in the game. Then you might have, I guess, a better explanation on why you're going to so many places and doing so many things. Or you could be an undercover cop and start as a construction worker, which, in all honesty, if you are going to be undercover, it's not always that you're undercover with criminals. Sometimes I would have to assume you're undercover working at a job, just to see if there's criminal activity happening throughout that area. Although I bet there probably is less of that than you would think. Easier enough to just wait until some disgruntled employee turns in a boss for doing something illegal. Yeah, but as a general concept, LEGO City.
That you, Jimmy? I got a message from Rex. He wants you to get a crane from this place. Gotta go. Well, that was to the point.
Yeah, if you had taken the LEGO game that was LEGO Worlds and called it LEGO City Breaking Ground instead, and you started with a city where you would have to go through levels and build buildings from the ground up, that would be interesting. Although it really is kind of just different. I still feel like even as an armchair writer, there's no story to tell here if you're not licensing out somebody else's story. I would have done anything if I was the manager of this project to say, let's get a license for a Nancy Drew story. Like, that's never been done as a LEGO game.
Did you not hear it jingle all the way?
That steamroller was fun, but have you got something a bit bigger I can drive? Like a crane?
Trust you with a crane?
Thanks.
Show me that you're a real construction worker. Fix the hoist controls over there.
There's a coffee drinking mini action. What's this gonna do? Literally nothing. Okay, so there we had a micro stutter when I jumped, and we were seeing sparks from this chop saw. It is these little effects that seem to cause the micro stuttering. If I hold down X, I can break things. There's another micro stutter. So much for turning the textures down. We might as well just go back and turn that back up. That did not affect anything. Although maybe a reset actually is required to put any of that in effect. Just gonna turn on everything except for shaders too, and let's see if that adds the amount of stuttering we see by any significant amount. Yeah, a Nancy Drew story, a Boxcar Children story to license, anything slightly known, the Goosebumps series, Scary Tales to Tell in the Dark, like anything kid friendly and a little bit, or just something super popular. The Mummy series with Brendan Fraser. Get any of those licensed. Honestly, if you just went through the WB's back catalog, there's something smarter to do than just a LEGO City pure game. The other thing you could do, let's see, I just thought of something else, is you could have done LEGO Batman 66, a pure comedic version of the 1966 Batman cartoon. That would have been perfectly acceptable. If your main goal was to have an open world GTA clone in LEGO, I think you need the license of either Saints Row or GTA at that point. And then you already had Bully, which, let's face it, Bully already is the kid-friendly version of GTA. Somewhat kid-friendly. And Bully, somewhat unfairly, from what I heard, was criticized as being promoting bullying and violence when it was just the name Bully, and the actual game wasn't actually about that. Which that is often the case in a lot of video games and stories, is people take whatever narrative they want to take from something. They don't actually know the actual events, or they don't play the game and get into the nuance of it. Yeah. But I would have absolutely done anything whatsoever to get out of just making a LEGO City game. At the very least, I wouldn't just want a game around the license of LEGO City. I would want the license around a lot of the LEGO series. So I would want LEGO Pirates, LEGO Ninjago, things like that too. And then have different islands with different sections. There's like 4 pipes I'm supposed to be dealing with, but there's so many things around here to do. And this, I suppose, if we actually find everything, this would be our first opportunity to actually accomplish everything in the game. Although I wouldn't be surprised if you still really can't. We still have these, which these now use the jackhammer. So the construction guy has a jackhammer ability, a coffee drinking ability, and the electric rewiring ability, making the construction guy the most overpowered character so far, as the last one. And that's kind of the case in the LEGO Star Wars games too. When you had Darth Vader did practically have half of the abilities. Right. So you have to clear it with the jackhammer, then you have to press the B button. That's weird. It's a little weird to have to do two different things. Hold X, then press B. You could pause for a moment and see that there's still one vehicle, still other things to be done. the cycle of these characters don't make any sense. I've been playing this game for hours now, and I still don't know what I get next when I hit the right bump, or whether it would be faster to hit the right bump and go clockwise or counterclockwise with the buttons.
Well, have you found those parts yet?
Well, at least it didn't nag me too much.
Find the parts!
Now it's nagging me. Beam in the parts.
Reminds me of somebody.
Quickly! Fix the hoist controls. We're behind on this job. I mean, it's already the 6th day.
Man, they're naming
Get those
every
boxes down with the hoist.
single Arnold
anyone else doing any
Schwarzenegger
work here?
vehicle.
Oh, I'm sorry if this seems like a raw deal.
Was there a movie called Raw Deer? Probably.
You want to drive the crane? Yeah. Then get through the door up there. Oh, who built that wall there? Idiots! Use explosives to get rid of it.
Come on. Switch to the right character.
Come on! Don't you understand a simple command? Oh? No reply? Good.
So I guess those are supposed to be
Stop
milling
walking,
machines.
man. Start running, man. Explosives are in the storeroom.
So my problem here, I would say, is why only have Arnold Schwarzenegger in one level? Why not have him be somebody that you're talking with and dealing with throughout the entirety of the game, and spread out these puns? Obviously this game has so many movie references. Why is this not a Lego movies game where you get sucked into movies, or you make the main character just makes a ridiculous amount of movie quotes and references? At least then you would have this game being built on what the writer's passion was, it seems.
Oh no. The elevator won't work. Fix the fuse box above it.
Glad I remembered my hard hat today. I can still feel where that brick landed on me.
There's very little to even do as far as what, except for the basic things you're supposed to do. So I guess you're supposed to be racing through all of this, but then they give you animations where you just sit and drink coffee. Then we have to look at a hammer animation. And it's not even having me tap B or do anything, so the game has forgotten how these games even play.
Wait a second. Why is the building even on fire? Which stupid set the building on fire?
How do I tell them that I don't like coffee? I mean, if I tell them I like Earl Grey tea, will they fire me? I think my cousin was fired from the police force for not liking donuts. That or stealing a computer.
Come on, farmer outfit. Which one is that? So you have him calling somebody stupid in the game. That, again, not really kid friendly. Like, I'd be alright with a dum-dum, but I think stupid's probably not something you want a 4, 6, 8-year-old, 10-year-old running around repeating. In all honesty, if you're gonna do a Lego City, you could probably do a decent Where's
Shut
Waldo
off the
game,
gas valve.
where
Use your strength.
you're the main part of the whole gameplay mechanic is just walking around the city finding specific minifigures, and finding other collectibles and hidden secrets. I wouldn't make a game based on the Lego City architectural line. That's
What's the
an
matter?
expert line
Can't you
that's
bash open the
kind of
door?
limited. So the Lego City line is probably the best line to pick if you were going to have to make a game around it, but there's kind of nothing there. That's not true. The Ninjago line is a lot smarter of a line, and there is a Lego Ninjago game. And they probably just should have stuck with that and then scraped
All right.
the WB
Come on, what are you
backlogs,
doing? Get
and just tried to figure out what Lego would approve. I missed some stuff up there, so hopefully I didn't miss the one thing I needed.
There's got to be a spare around here.
Something I can help with?
Doubt it. I dropped the key to the gate shed and the guard dog ran off with it.
Can't you just take the key back off of it?
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, no, wait. I actually want to keep both my hands.
So I can't even go into camera mode to look back up in this area. This area feels very much like a section of Lego
I
Batman
wish
2.
I hadn't eaten my lunch. Then I might have been able to lure that dog out of his kennel.
And this is going to end up right at his bowl. Nope. It took me in a different direction. That's a slight surprise.
Getting this crane better lead me straight to Rex.
So we get a dog bone to stick in the bowl. So the dog leaves the key alone.
You got the key! You just saved my neck, buddy. Go
So we do
on!
this.
Use it to get into the gatehouse.
Right. Before we go activate this, let's make sure that there's nothing. Seems like there's maybe a puzzle that's going to be done using the crane, aligning all of this stuff. Yeah, it's kind of a pathetic argument here that I'm making. I think it's fair to say I am not enjoying the game I'm playing right now, but if you are ham-fisted to make a Lego game without a license of a very popular product, I can't really think of anything better to do than do Lego City. Maybe you do Lego City and don't play as the same character throughout the entire game. And yeah, I could throw out probably a dozen more suggestions, but I'm not sure that any of them would be any better. This really feels like a project that if I was a programmer, I'd still do it as a programmer, because a programmer could find all levels of and creative challenges in programming elements in any game. But if I was the creative director, I would probably not want to do that. See, this is a whole nother section, so There's the TT logo. So we're hitting a late game gags. This is just a pile of trash. This is probably an area that would be a good place to test just the particle physics and effects. So that's evidence. We also didn't even get a sound effect there. That's evidence that there are very possibly super bricks and other items that I've missed in this level. We need those red brick detectors and other kind of item detectors. That looked like that was gonna be a hole, and it turned out not to be. Yeah, if I was a project lead or any kind of writer or anything like this, the dialogue writer clearly shouldn't have been on this project. The main writer and just plot, really. I could see how the main concept of the plot would have been approved. Like Lego, sure, I'm sure it could have been behind the idea of a potential cartoon tie-in. I don't know if the Chase cartoon, the Lego City cartoon, was out by the time this game came out, or if it was in production at all. Probably was, so this almost certainly is a tie-in advertisement. But
Oh, there you are.
What? How did you?
I'm not Albert. I'm Werner, his twin.
Oh, huh. I thought you'd look different.
So, you want to drive a crane, eh?
Yes.
Then you better build it first.
Oh.
Come on, build it.
this is an interesting background music that we're playing. It's almost like a pure rap song. Like the thing I don't have time for is I would like to do some research and get at least a plot synopsis of the Lego City cartoon, of which I assume there is one. If I'm dreaming that up, then I don't know where Chase comes from as a character, and I don't know why they've written him so weakly.
Hey, I get to do another super build now.
It's probably not worth my effort to run around and try and do other things. So we'll just build this to start with.
You think you can drive a crane? Well, then prove it.
Okay. So we hop into a
Get
crane.
the crane over to that building. Hurry!
I think it is worth mentioning that this feels like something that should have happened in the Lego video game. There was kind of a shortage of levels in the Lego the movie, the video game, that were in that first area. But
Use the crane to pick up the pipes. I could pick them up with my bare hands. Yeah, exactly. Hey, put it in the right trench. Now, do the other ones.
Are you going somewhere?
Don't worry. I'll be back.
I hope you don't mind if the crane isn't here when you return, because I'm going to use it to pick up Rex with the very long arm of the law. Huh, that one wasn't too bad.
there we go. That just kind of opened the gate. And I can't move the crane anymore, so seems like we're left walking through all of that. Come on. What am I gonna find over here? There really is all kinds of opportunity for other things to be around. It's a tiny crane that I can now control. So I see another one over here. There's not enough of these sequences to really justify their existences. That's probably true in a considerable amount of LEGO games. I have seen a decent amount. Let's just start over again. At some point I started reversing when I was holding down A, which seems weird. Seems like it's kind of adjusting itself. Maybe in the open world we'll see a few more of these, but I wouldn't be surprised if I don't only see like 10, maybe 12. What we may run into is a problem with just super bricks. Like, there's kind of nothing here that indicates whether a super brick is still in the level or not, so who knows if you have to collect all the super bricks in a level, or if it matters. Maybe at the end of the day you potentially have all the super bricks you need, and it stops being an issue. And the way I control this crane is totally different than the way I was controlling the mini crane. Because A was to back up in the mini crane, and now A is to move forward. Look at the jankiness on the wheel treads. It's like they're putting real world physics on it.
You got the crane, Jimmy. Great. Rex will be real happy.
Yeah, let's go drive this to wherever Rex is.
You're such a kidder, Jimmy. We're using the crane to get something else. I'll open the gate so you can get it out of here.
So we've just stolen another thing, which is kind of all we do in this game. Because we do all this criminal activity, which would make a great justification for Chase to disappear again at the end of this level.
Hey there.
Thanks. I gotta drive it up to the observatory. Stay here and see if anyone follows me. I get the feeling someone might try and infiltrate the gang tonight.
No.
Yeah! Ah. Grr. Meet me up there in 10 minutes!
Sure.
Sure.
I am brilliant at disguises.
Of all the days to leave my glasses at home!
That's a kind of funny joke that doesn't reference a rather old movie. What red brick did we unlock? Studs times 6? That's interesting that we're this late in the game and we're getting just studs times 6. But the stud multipliers don't really matter. I don't believe we got everything in that level, so we will have to try and make some mad dash. My biggest hope is that we get a red brick that gives us double the run speed. That would help considerably, just being able to jump higher and run farther. If not, going through these levels could be a big hassle.
I should know the location of their base soon.
That's great, Chase. What's holding you up?
My contact in Rex's gang wants me to do something up at the observatory first. But you could give Natalia the good news. If Rex has her dad, their base is where he'll be.
Well, I'll try, but I just got her answer machine. I think she's sick of me reminding her to walk my dog.
I'll call her myself later then.
So, did Natalia disappear to be the bad girl after all? The whole dynamics here are confused, to say the least, in the fact that there are several gangs. But they all seem like they might be working for Rex. Alright. I guess we should turn on score times 6 since it's already unlocked. But yeah, I don't know what else to do. We need a vehicle and we need to just drive. We're still kind of short on bricks. Like, I really wouldn't want to build
This is an emergency.
a bunch of items. How far are we going, by the way? To an area that definitely feels like it might be a final boss area, but it still doesn't really make sense because we just did level 12. It seems like there'd be 15 levels, and excluding bonus levels. If that's not the case, then there must be a lower or no requirements to do any bonus levels that exist. Maybe you only have to have like 100 or 200 gold bricks instead of all 450, and at that point I guess maybe you'll get the last couple of gold bricks through doing bonus levels in open world. Seeing a lot of hitching and micro stuttering, but still not terrible. Like, really nothing to complain about compared to the experiences I've had with other LEGO games where it was just a
Rex
nightmare.
wants us to steal the telescope out of the observatory.
Yeah, Rex does love, astrology?
Ha! It ain't for Rex. It's something for the old man, ain't it?
Right. The old man.
Well, what are you waiting for? You got a pneumatic drill from that construction place, right? Use that!
I wish the cutscenes would switch automatically, switch my costume back to this and just start me at this every time. Future LEGO games definitely did that.
You believe in astrology then?
No, but that's probably because I'm a Pisces.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they're talking about astrology when astronomy would be the right word. And you have an education, an opportunity to educate young minds here, and instead you're doing a joke that will fly over a lot of people's heads and
Great. I'll
misinform
drive the truck around
some of the players. Astrology being the belief that the stars somehow affect your luck or your day or your attitude or
Now I gotta fix the crate. I
other
may have
things.
damaged it
Astronomy
on the
being
way
the
up.
studies of
Keep an eye out for
stars and
company. And if you see any, deal with them.
cosmic bodies. Again, we're fighting security people, police. I mean, this really does just look like straight up police. They had a key on them.
Wow, you been practicing, Jimmy? Anyway, I got this hunk of junk all fixed up. We gotta get the observatory's roof open, because I doubt that telescope is gonna fit through the front door.
So there's a key on the ground. There's kind of nothing up here. So if I was to go into scan mode for just a brief second, expect to see a decent amount of this when we're in open, in doing all the open world stuff. Just a lot of going in circles for no reason. That was weird. That was straight up a glitch.
Fix up that fuse box real good. It's wired into the dome.
So we're not actually going in the building.
Hey, you done it.
This is a really interesting sound cue to play for doing such a small amount of work.
And we're out of here, man.
That sound cue could have been used in a lot of better scenarios.
Now stick it on the back of the truck, facing backwards. That way you can see any cops following you from a mile away. Nice. Okay, now get in the truck.
Yeah, okay.
We haven't had a proper chase sequence since a long time ago. I wouldn't be upset if they threw another chase sequence in here. But instead, it seems like they're just going to show us a cutscene and then show us another cutscene. It literally faded out to show us a cutscene and then faded out again. Alright. So I'm holding down A, and I'm moving incredibly slowly. All the sat nav studs. Reach your destination. Thanks. And I think I just have silver hearts, which silver hearts sometimes mean you're immortal, and sometimes don't in LEGO games. But there's kind of nothing I can do because I don't have a boost or anything. So, unless I was to try and take curves really sharp, which I suppose there's a slight idea there, they're really doing nothing here. We jumped the bridge in a cutscene. They didn't even have that be an in-game cutscene. This car moves so slowly. This is not exciting at all. This is downright mind-numbing. And I assume I'd get reset if I went off the beaten path too much. And I don't think this is going to be a chase that just decides that I need to go everywhere in a circle around the entire city. If there was a really fast vehicle that made me run around the entire city in a loop, maybe I'd be interested in that. But frankly, that probably should be like the final boss fight of chasing after Rex Fury. Would be he would have a set pattern in which he would go in circles, and then you would follow him in loops around the city until you sped up and catched him. Guess I could have done a jump there. I don't know if there's really any reason to do a jump. Are we gonna find some kind of secret passage inside the train? Wow, there actually is a secret passage inside the railroad train area. Chapter 13 Secrets of a game that apparently is going to have 15 chapters. This next level we have now walked into is Special Assignment 13, so feels like we're going to do this level and then there will be 2 more levels after this.
It's all proceeding to schedule.
Well,
Good.
And the final shipment.
Just doing a full-on James Bond villain.
Just arrived.
Excellent. All we need now is the password for the professor's device.
I could soften him up.
No need. My men have finally secured the leverage we have been pursuing.
So the main bad guy is the rich guy, Blackwell, I think is his name.
Boss.
This is kind of funny.
I'm sorry, that's just funny.
Boss, your camera's at the wrong angle again.
What? Botherations. Technology.
And it's making your voice go funny.
I'll call you later.
Professor? That must be Professor Kowalski. Oh, how lucky was I to overhear that, eh?
That's the truck the imposter was driving.
Uh-oh, I think my cover's blown.
He's gotta be here somewhere. Find him.
Be interesting if they actually made me play a stealth level. Actually, you know,
That was close.
it's not super kid friendly, but a stealth mission wouldn't be a terrible idea in a game like this.
Elevator.
So, alright, let's just pause this here. Because we have like 12 minutes to go, and I kind of don't think that this is just going to turn into such a short experience that it would happen. Yeah, a LEGO James Bond game is really what this needed to be. And it did occur to me that if you were going to do a LEGO City Police, if we had done the first act of the game and mostly just saved kittens from the tree, or helped old ladies bring in their groceries, or, you know, call on in an ambulance, if we'd done just simplistic civic duty style quests, it would have given us a lot more time to grow an affinity for Chase, instead of just starting with you're coming back after arresting Rex and Rex has escaped. You could have done the entire first act where Rex was in the prison, and you could have jokingly foreshadowed Rex is in Alcatraz, the strongest prison ever. No one's escaped from Alcatraz. And then after doing 4, 5, 6 missions and levels where you're just being a regular beat cop, then Rex escapes. Then you have a story. Then you have a mission. That would have helped in the characterization, at least. Maybe it would have been boring levels, but some of these levels have been boring anyways. If you could get the James Bond license, which I don't believe WB owns the James Bond license, and that's probably part of the problem. I think Paramount owns the James Bond license in part. Maybe the BBC and the British government owns it in part too. Of course, maybe LEGO has never really made a James Bond series of sets because of just the vast amount of shooting and gun violence in the James Bond movies also. So that would explain some of that too. Anyways, we're going to just end it here. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to further follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.